Hi all, welcome back to my channel. So today in this session we are going to understand what is SQL Server GUID. GUID. Okay, so we are going to understand what is this and why we used it and what is the full form of GUID. First, let me tell you the full form of GUID is a globally unique identifier. Okay, as a name suggests, it's a global. That means the value which is generated is unique across the tables, across the database, across the servers. Okay, so it is globally unique identifier. So what is the meaning of identifier? Identifier means the value which identifies a complete row, complete record. Okay, so let's say you can understand it like every book has a unique number. Okay, print on it with that is nothing but a ISBN number. Everybody, every person in India is having a unique Aadhaar card number. Okay, in America or some other countries we have a social security number. Okay, so this is something, it's a unique number which is allocated to the to personality or the or materials like book to identify which is to uniquely identify that particular record. Okay, and it is globally identify it will identify that particular personality or the record globally, not within the database. Like this time if you see employee DB database is being selected, so it is not like that it will generate a unique identifier which is unique across this only this database. It always generate a unique number which is globally unique across the different databases. Okay. Okay, so enough is the theory part. Let's demonstrate it. How we can create, how we can get the value which is generated by the GUID and how we can use it. So let's say with the help of the new ID function. So new ID is the function which will enable us to give the unique identifier which is globally uniquely identifier. Okay, so when I select new ID function, then it will give me a unique value if you see, and this is nothing but this is 16 byte, say 16 byte binary. Okay, this is 16 byte binary number, unique identifier number we can say. So if you see, this is unique number, and when the second time I execute it, it will give me the some different value. If you see, like, let me copy this and paste it 4 times, like, and if I select all of this and execute it, so it will give me a different value every time. Okay, so this new ID I have selected inside the employee DB. Okay, so let me open one more query session and we'll select some other database. Okay, sample DB, and copy this select new ID, and let us try to check whether it is giving the different value every time globally across the different database. So let's execute and we'll see 4F. It start with a 4F, and in the query 6 if we see this is it is not matching to any of the new ID which is generated in employee DB database. Okay, so this is something which is very useful in the scenarios where you wanted the value should be uniquely identifier across the servers, across the database, across the tables. Okay, so that is why we use the unique identifier. But there is one drawback, that it takes lot of space. It is 16 byte, it is taking 16 byte, which is more than the int which takes 4 byte, and big int which is taking which takes the 8 byte. Okay, so that is the main drawback. And another thing is, there is one more drawback, like if you use this GUID instead of the identity column in your table, then it is very easy to store the data, okay, on go. But when you wanted to retrieve the data on the basis of ID, then it is very difficult. Let's say if you have some records in the employee DB table. Okay, let's say you have employee details with IDs 1 2 3 4 5 like that, and if you wanted to retrieve the employee records with the employee ID 5, then it is very easy to write select query select s2 from employee DB where ID is equal to 5. So this way you will be able to easily retrieve the record of that employee with having employee ID 5. But let's say you have a requirement, similar kind of requirement, where you have stored the value instead of id, instead of 1 2 3 4, you have stored in the in this GUID. Then you have to write like select a string from this particular table where id is equal to this one. So you have to copy this and you have to paste it. So it is very difficult, this number is always changing, so it is very difficult in your query. Your query become complex. So this is one more drawback. Now I have told you the drawbacks. So what is the benefits of using this? So let's understand the scenario. Let's say if you have a two databases, like contract employee and permanent employee. You have stored the contract employee details in the contract employee database, and you have stored the uh, let me give you a scenario to make you understand. Contract db, you have one contract db where you have stored the contract databases. Then you have permanent db where you have stored the permanent db employees. Okay, then you have a full employee, let's say full employee db details. Okay, so let's say you have stored all the contract employee details with identity columns. Okay, and here also you have the identity columns. Like say you store 5 records in contract and with id 1 2 3 4 5. Similarly in permanent, you have stored another different permanent employees but with the id 1 2 3 4 5 also. Okay, now full employee db is nothing but a union of all the employees which is available in the contract and permanent. Okay, so we can say it is sum of contract employee, the details of the contract employee and the permanent employee. So in that case you wanted to collate the data from contract db and permanent db table employees and insert into full db. In that case it got failed. The identity column identity column concept would get failed, and in that case you can use the globally GUID. Okay, in that case you can use the GUID. So I'll demonstrate it. Let me create table, and before that I need to create a database. So let me go ahead and execute 3 database in one go. Okay, this database has been created. Contract, full and permanent. So let me select it and create one table here. Let's make this as primary key and make it as an identity column. So we are first seeing without GUID what is the problem we are facing, and then we will understand how the GUID will resolve this problem. Okay, so I'm just giving a simple name, employee name. Okay, I'm just giving only 2 columns to make it simple, very simple. See, my objective is to make you understand the concept only. Okay, now here is 10. So this is done. You can see this. Let's check if the table has been created or not. This table has been created. Now the same thing we need to do for permanent table. Permanent DB. Inside the permanent, where is the permanent DB? Okay, I have selected to the permanent DB, and I have selected, I am creating a table, permanent table. ID is the same, file name is the same. Okay, now let me check in permanent DB. The table, permanent table is also created. Very good. Now what I need to do, I need to insert some record here. Okay, in both the table. Let's see, in permanent, insert into table is this one. Column is, just bear with me in for next 2 or 3 minutes, then I will let you know what is the purpose of showing all this stuff to you. Okay, let is ID is identity, so I do not need to provide any value here. Okay, it is already, it itself give me a value. So let me add few records here. 2 and test 3. Okay, let me insert this value in the permanent table. Record has been created. Okay, now I'll go and see the contract table. Okay, so insert into contract table here, and instead of test, let's take it as sample 1. So I'm just giving the random number. Okay, so do not panic why I'm giving such a hypothetical names here. And let me select it instead of permanent, a contract DB. So execute, records is okay, well done. So now what we are going to do, let me see what happened, what data is inside this table. We'll see both the tables, contract one and permanent one. Okay, and how you can do it, you can put the database name here. This way you will be able to see the 2 different tables in the one query session. So all you need to do, provide the database name, then schema name, then the table name. Okay, so if you see here in the temporary contract DB database, okay, in the contract DB tables, we have this value 1, 2, 3. This is the unique identifier for this employee, sample 1, sample 2, sample 3. Okay, I have not changed 2 and 3. Okay, let's assume that we have a 3 employees of contract employees, 3 employees, which is having this unique identifier 1, 2 and 3. Let's assume that we have a 3 employees, test 1, test 2, with name test 1, test 2, test 3, and their unique identifier is also 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there is no problem because they are in stored in the separate database. But the actual problem arise in the case if you wanted to join these 2 tables and insert into third table. Okay, for that purpose we have created a full employee DB table. Here we are going to insert, we are going to create another table with the same schema. Okay, so create table, what is the name, table, like say and only 2 columns we have. One is ID, it's int, primary key, and this is also identity. Let's say we have requirements such like that. Okay, so this, then it got failed. Okay, I'll tell you why it got failed. and then I will provide you solution with the help of GUID. Employee name is where care. Okay, where care, let's say 10. So I'm going to create a table, full table in the database. So I need to select the full DB, full employee DB, and in full employee DB database I have created a table, full table. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I wanted the data what present in this, okay, contract details and in permanent details. So I wanted both type of the employees details to be stored into full employee DB table. Okay, so here is a table. So I wanted insert into, I wanted to move the data, or you can say I wanted to move the data which is available in the contract and the permanent to the full. So how you can do it? Select asterisk, because the schema is same in all the tables, so we can do it. Okay, so what I need to do, I need to just select insert into this table, join with this table. So I wanted to move, or not union all, sorry, it's not join, it's union. If you select these two things, okay, altogether, so you will get the result. Okay, you got the 3 employees from the contract, you got the 3 contract employees and 3 permanent employees from the different database in a one structure, table structure. Okay, but when you try to insert this structure into the full table, then what will happen? Let's go ahead and select the entire query and try to execute. See, we got an error. The error says an explicit value for the identity column in the table full TBL can only be specified when column list is used or identity insert is on. So why this error is coming? This error is saying that this table, what you are trying to insert into full table, okay, this structure, this table, okay, summary table which is having this value, you're trying to insert into full TBL. I'm not going to insert it because I have a column, identity column, and I can see that one value is already there, and I'm going to create a one value. And if I create a one value, then it will violate the constraint which is violate the identity constraint which I have on my ID column. Okay, that is the problem. I'm not going to insert this data because this there is a duplicacy. Okay, so this is the violation of this thing. This is the violation of identity column. This is the problem of the identity column facing when you try to insert the record into the third table. So here what will happen, this problem, how we can resolve it? We can resolve it simply with the help of GUID, because the GUID is always unique value generated globally. Okay, so how you can do it, how we can do it? So let's, instead of identity column, we can make it as a GUID column. So let's go back and alter this table, all these 3 tables, and make it GUID, and do it the same thing. I mean, try to execute the same query and we'll see the result. Okay, so let's go back and we'll see. So we'll go back, what we can do. Let's take out the script so that we do not need to write the script again and again. Let's take this create script of the table, and we need to alter the the schema of the table. So this is can remove everything else. So what I'm going to do, let me drop this table first, and we will recreate it with the different schema. I mean to say with we will remove this identity and we will apply the GUID here. So first go ahead and drop this table. So we have dropped it. Okay, now what we are going to do, instead of identity column, we have this, make it primary key. Instead of identity, what we can do, let's remove it. we can apply it, we can make it as a this instead of integer. Okay, we want it as a unique identifier. What is unique identifier is the data type for this GUID. Okay, instead of integer data type, we are making it as a unique identifier. Identifier is the data type, primary key, and we want the value will be created by default is new GUID. New ID is the function to create. I have told you earlier, if you remember, that this new ID is the function to generate the GUID value. Okay, and this GUID will be stored in the data type, and that data type is unique identifier. So this ID, I'm going to create a table with a column named ID with data type unique identifier, and this column would be primary key, and the value by default it will generate is the GUID, and this GUID will be generated by the function new ID. Okay, so this way, and apply a comma here. This is fine. Now I'm going to create a table. So this table has been created. In the same manner, I need to do it for where it goes, contract and permanent. Sorry, yes, it's a permanent. And table is per table. So I am I'm not going to write everything, so I'm replacing it. Now I'm going to use this database. Okay, in this script, what this script is saying, go to this database, drop this table first, and recreate this table with this definition. So go ahead and execute it. So this has also been done. Now we have the third, that is full employee TB. So this also we need to do. So first use this one. Okay, and then replace this, and if you have the table, just apply here, drag and drop, then copy and paste it. Because the column and schema is all same, so what we have changed here, we have dropped the table recreate with the new definitions here. So if you wanted to refresh the entire database, which is fine, you can refresh it, go to the contract database, go to the table and see the structure of the table one, so that we can proceed. If you go ahead and you see the primary key and the column data type is unique identifier, not integer. Okay, go to the what do you call this, sorry, not employee, permanent DB, go to the tables, go to the permanent TBL, go to the columns, check the PK, primary key, ID, and the unique identifier. Check once, one more thing, this full employee table database. It is always a good practice to check once before proceeding with the insert or DML statement. So all the table is done. Okay, we have recreated the tables. Now, second, what we need to do, we need to insert the data, insert into, we have the same name earlier, so we can use it. And the column is ID. Sorry, the column is employee name only, because this one is the values. This time I'll give some better name, contract employee 1. Okay, let's see, try to insert the record, and let's select the contract DB. Oh, it's saying string or binary data would be truncated because I have given only 10 characters. And let's see, go on. Okay, so let's sorry, here 61 query window, select it, execute, one row affected. Okay, if you wanted to see the result here, see the ID is now instead of 123, it is giving us this value. Now I'll insert few more record here, one more record, 3, and this is done. So if you wanted to see the record, total records what I have, so you can see contract employee 2, 1 and 3, and we have this as value. Okay, now what will happen, I need to insert the record similarly for the permanent one. Okay, I bet you that your concept will be clear after watching this video. So be patient and first understand why we use the GUID. Most of the case people know that what is GUID, but why we use it in what scenario, mostly the people don't know. So for that matter, you need to understand this, why we are taking so much pain to understand this concept, because it is very beneficial in longer run. Okay, so let's permanent employee 1. Okay, so I'm going to insert, but before that I need to change my database contract, and this is permanent. Where is permanent? Permanent DB, here we go. Okay, permanent employee 1, permanent employee 2, and then permanent employee 3. I'll insert only 3 record here. Okay, now I'm selecting both tables. Now I think now you see the result here. Okay, as you see in the contract table, I have this 3 contract employees with a different identifier and the permanent employee with a different identifier. Now I have this third table and I have a requirement to insert the data whatever available in these 2 tables to full table. Okay, so for that we need to select full employee DB, so that this red alert will go. And before that, first see the union on will be working fine. So this is working fine. If I go ahead and select the entire query and try to insert, see 6 row affected, that means 6 row is been inserted here. Okay, but when we are using identity column, remember we were getting error. Okay, so here in this purpose you can use the GUID instead of identity column, where you have a requirement to move the data, entire data, collate the data and move the data to the third table. So if you see, this number which is generated is globally identifier. Okay, so this contract employee 1 is globally identified, or you can say it's uniquely identified among the different servers, different database. Okay, so there is no problem at all. Whereas if you use the identity column, then there could be a problem where you wanted to move the data to the one table. So there you can use the GUID. Only one problem is that it is taking so much of space, like it is 16 byte binary digit, so it is taking a lot of space instead of integer. So I hope you guys will understand this scenario. So if interviewer will ask you what is GUID, do not give the only one line statement that GUID is the uniquely identifier. Give this information, give the example, so that the interviewer will be impressed and they will understand, okay, your concept is clear, crystal and clear. So just give this such kind of examples as well in the interview. Okay, so I hope you like the video. In case if you have any doubt regarding the GUID, then please let me know in the comment section. I would be happy to help you out whenever I got a time. Okay, so thank you so much and have a nice day. Happy learning. Bye bye.